control room in the state secretariat. Mamata Banerjee is on a visit to the North Bengal for 2 days. There are various department and government agencies working day in and out for carrying out the rescuing operation. And Mamata Banerjee has already announced
So tell me something,
compensation for
very
the
quickly,
victims
Mr.
and
Khan,
the
before I
families.
open this up to the BJP. You posed some questions, which I'll get the BJP spokesperson to respond to, but I just want to ask you a question, sir. By that yardstick, any leader who rushes to the site of a tragedy in the making or after a tragedy is indulging in photo op politics, and they shouldn't. So by that yardstick, Derek O'Brien and large number of TMC MPs, Rahul Gandhi and company who rushed at one point to Hathras, if you remember, should not have done so because they were indulging in cheap politics.
Hathras was a case where the state administration, under the order of the chief minister, the victim's body was burned in the midnight. That there was a clear case of trying to destroy the evidence and trying to keep people away from the truth. And this case in North Bengal is a natural disaster.
By that same token, all those people who participated in the protests in the RG car issue were also doing it for photo ops.
No, RG car issue, they were trying to play politics over the dead body.
See, there you go, viewers.
Like this,
I've just taken two similar examples. Okay, I just took two very similar. I knew he was going to say this, so okay.
Who commit rape.
Okay, one minute.
Pervert people who commit rape.
Right.
And
One second. Viewers,
seeking an opportunity to
pervert people committed a rape, viewers, in RG Kaur
and it's
hospital.
A
One second, Mr. Khan, let's not speak over each other. I have not spoken over you, sir. I have not spoken over you, so let's not speak over each other. Mr. Khan says that RG Kaur was a heinous crime, which it was, but there people were trying to take advantage of a situation when the government was acting. And in Hathras, similar rape takes place, viewers, hideous, heinous crime. There the opposition goes because it suspects that the state is not acting. Same thing, viewers. Here also the opposition and protesters thought that the state was not doing enough. So one side, yes, you can protest against state iniquity. On the other side, you can't. There's a clear problem here, viewers, and it's called hypocrisy. H word. It's the hydrogen bomb, the H bomb, viewers, which they have just dropped. Anyhow, Pradeep Bhandari, how would you like to respond to the analyst, the TMC supporter who says that, look, you can't compare the two issues. You people are out there trying to gain political mileage, and you had no business to be there, and the people have given it back to you.
Well, Rahul, Mamata Banerjee is running a syndicate of crime in Bengal with criminals as a partner. The truth is that Mamata Banerjee was seen dancing at a carnival when North Bengal was suffering and more than 20 people lost their life. Our MP and MLA diligently reached 9 a.m. to the affected spot where none of the Trinamool Congress MP, MLA or the district magistrate had reached. We had written a letter first to the district magistrate, and the district magistrate was caught napping and he did not act to provide flood relief. As a duty-bound public servants, we went to the ground to provide flood relief, realizing that if the Bharatiya Janata Party will provide flood relief in northern Bengal, where majority seats are won by the Bharatiya Janata Party, the Trinamool Congress will lose political ground. She instructed her TMC goons to throw bricks at the Bharatiya Janata Party MP. And this is not an isolated incident. Recall when the Bharatiya Janata Party president, Mr. JP Nadda, had gone on a visit to Diamond Harbour, which was not related to flood relief, it was a visit. Even his car was not spared and bricks were thrown at his car. So Trinamool Congress under Mamata Banerjee has appropriated a culture of violence where even flood relief is not allowed for anybody in the state of Bengal. But my worry is very big. My worry is that Mamata Banerjee has become the chief minister of only her vote bank, which is 30%. She believes that 70% of Bengal, which is the tribals, the Matuas, the OBCs, the SCs, and all the Bengali Manush, it does not matter to her because she gets 90% vote from the 30% constituency. So even if 20 people are electrocuted, more than 10 people are electrocuted in Calcutta, even if more than 20 people lose their life in North Bengal, Mamata Banerjee will be seen choosing her priorities as dancing. The Prime Minister rightly called it out, saying that Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress appropriated the attack, they made it happen, and I'll end it with another 10-second point. Recall what happened in the case of Amphan. Mamata Banerjee's party cheated the people of Bengal by corrupting the money which was distributed by the center. So when is it that Mamata Banerjee has chosen Bengal over her vote bank politics? Never. She hates the tribals, and I'm telling you why. The Calcutta High Court in the past has said that there is no rule of law but law of the ruler in Bengal. So she has been also called out by the Honorable Court. But she will choose vote bank politics. She will let tribals suffer. This exposes her anti-tribal mindset.
Let me quickly bring in Ayyar Mitra. Mr. Mitra, there is now a long pathology. You have journalists, cartoonists, voters, activists are all beaten back when they decide to question the incumbent government. They are all held up as suspects. And if this happens perchance in any other state, for example, those ruled by the BJP, then everyone cries murder of democracy. Where are those activists today, Abhijit Ayyar Mitra? Where is that entire cabal of people who say that there is no level playing field for any opposition in this country?
See, the level playing field is so inverted, it is no level playing field for the ruling party right now. You can get killed, you can get burnt alive, you can do whatever to a ruling party MP and you will get away with it. Now let's be clear, this gentleman here, he wasn't attacked for selling, Nirma washing powder. He wasn't attacked for making his machher jhol wrong. He wasn't attacked for selling vegetable biryani instead of mutton biryani. He was attacked for being a BJP MP. Let us be very clear about this. If that is not political, then what exactly is political? Do you remember the song and dance Mamta Didi raised when she broke her toe or something like that during the campaign? That was the headline news for how many days running? 4 or 5 days? Now, that being the case, I just want my friends, Mr. Jain and Tausif, to just come up with a single first principle. Let them just lay down a generic rule now of what is politicization, number one, what constitutes politicization, when should it be politicized, when should it not be politicized. I bet you we will be arguing on this program till the cows come home, and they will not give you a single clear explanation of these 3 points. Because they don't want it. They want to twist anything as this is political, this is not political, as and when it suits them. This should not be exploited, this should be exploited when it suits them. When they do it, it is liberation. When somebody else does it, it's exploitation. You know, this is like China in that sense. You know, when they go and conquer Tibet, it is liberation. But if the British come and liberate something, it is occupation, it is colonization. This is the same two-facedness you see all over. And I will tell you right now, I am ceding now, till the end of this debate, Rahul, they will not come up with a general set of points. They will argue about everything under the sun. They'll probably give you the recipe for paneer butter masala, but they will not give you a generic set of points.
Yeah, now I want to bring in Nikhil Jain. This is important. Mr. Jain, I want you to tell me, I want to ask you, do you know a gentleman called Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary?
Sure.
Who is he?
I thought this was a news debate and not
I'm asking you, who is he?
Rahul, I'm not going to answer juvenile questions like that. I would much rather respond to the points.
Juvenile
this
question.
Is certainly juvenile. Sitting on a news debate, you're asking.
He's an immature man.
His juvenile question. Okay, let me now.
Mr.
Viewers,
Bhandari,
let
Mr.
me tell
Bhandari,
you.
I never
One
called
second.
him
Let
juvenile.
me tell you.
The question
Okay,
juvenile.
just don't shout. Don't get triggered. Don't get triggered, because when you get triggered, the viewer realizes that you are perhaps inadequately prepared with arguments. So now let me frame the question. Okay. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, senior TMC, senior Congress leader, says TMC plays saint in Delhi, devils in Bengal. That's what he says. That they polarize voters in this state, that they create the conditions for elections that are not free and fair. This, viewers, is a senior Congress leader, and he was LOP at the center in the Lok Sabha. We're talking about a leader of that stature, not some juvenile.
I never said that he is a juvenile leader. I said your question is juvenile. The
It
fact that you're
pretends to
asking
be
me this question,
secular.
that
It
do I
pretends
know
to
who
be
Adhir
secular,
Ranjan Chaudhary
says,
is?
says Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, that Mamta Banerjee and her party and her government pretend to be secular. They are expert in making fake voters. This has also been said by him, viewers. All these things have been said by a Congress leader who is got his fat in the fire, in the fight in Bengal. But viewers, the person who roams around, Mr. Jain, the person who roams around with a constitution in his hand, Rahul Gandhi, your vote getter, why doesn't he ever come out and hold a rally with that constitution in his hand and say, my leader, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Ms. Mamta Banerjee accuses you of being an expert in making fake voters. That is not, sir, vote chori.
Rahul, first of all, let me ask you a question. You seem to believe what Mr. Chaudhary is saying. Then why don't you ask questions of the Election Commission of India that how are you allowing Mamta Banerjee to add fake voters? Why don't you ask questions of the BJP that you are running the Home
do you
Ministry in the
not
country?
know? Do you
Why
not
allow
know
something
that
like
the
this?
courts in this country have pulled up Mamta Banerjee? And should I now read out, viewers? Let me read out.
No, then
Look at how brazen this has become. This is Calcutta High Court in itself, viewers. The Calcutta High Court, and I'm reading out to you, expressed concern over reports of post-poll violence in the state and directed the state government to stop intimidating voters who have not voted for it. This is not at the level of the EC, viewers. This is not about electoral rolls. Excuse me, Mr. Jain. I've asked you a simple question. Don't. No, 1 second. I asked you a very simple question.
You've actually not asked me any question.
Mr. Jain, I asked you, why is it that these are not my views? These are Mr. Chaudhary's views. Either you believe Mr. Chaudhary or you think he's a liar. If he's a senior most Congress leader who was given the task of representing the party in the Lok Sabha, the entire opposition in the Lok Sabha, he must have some credibility, yes or no? He must, right?
Rahul,
so you have to answer me, why is it that he calls out the death of democracy in Bengal and Rahul Gandhi keeps quiet? Is it because he has an understanding with Mamta Banerjee and he only wants to create a fear psychosis and whip up fear psychosis against one man in this country, and that is Modi? I'm just asking you, it's a simple question. You want to answer it, you can, you don't have to.
Rahul, first of all, I'm nowhere denying that Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary was a senior leader of the Congress, is a senior leader of the Congress, or I'm nowhere doubting his credibility. But let me correct you on one thing, that he was a leader of the Congress party in the Lok Sabha. He was not the leader of opposition, and there's a difference between the two. Number two, if Mr. Chaudhary is
he
making
wasn't.
these
I'll tell you why. Because you didn't qualify to be one. You didn't have the numbers to have the leader of the opposition, but by de facto he used to speak for your party, sir. I said it 10 times. But that doesn't matter. This is not about exactly his designation. I'm asking you, if he continually criticizes Mamta Banerjee for fixing votes, for stealing elections, for intimidating the opposition, for being a devil in Bengal, why is it that Rahul Gandhi doesn't find himself with his little constitution, his red book, standing in front of her and saying, what are you doing murdering my beautiful democracy in my beautiful country? Why doesn't he go there, sir?
Rahul, first of all, I really don't know why do you have this kind of disdain for the Constitution of India that you have to go around calling it the little red book and
he
whatnot.
Holds it as a little red book. I'm referring to his little red book.
No, it is
his little red book, which is actually not even. No, hang on. There's even a controversy over that. So I'm only asking you, sir. I'm only asking you, why does Rahul Gandhi not stand in? Why doesn't he stand outside Writers' Building and hold up the Constitution in Mamta Banerjee's face when his own leaders are saying that she's murdering democracy? And I can get you 5 more examples of Congress leaders.
Please ask those same questions of Narendra Modi, that why does he not question Mamta Banerjee? Why does he not do anything about it?
Well, the
He's just tweeted. Let me play out the tweet again. Hang on, let me play out the tweet. No, 1 second. Let me just play out the tweet. Let me play out the tweet. Let's put out the tweet. Breaking news, viewers. This was the tweet, and let me just take you over this. Just about 10 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago. 1 second, Mr. Jain. Fact check coming. Fact check coming.
What fact
Mr.
check?
Modi has come out and criticized Mamta Banerjee, the manner in which our party colleagues, including a sitting MP and MLA, were attacked in West Bengal for serving the people affected by floods and landslides is outright appalling. It highlights the insensitivity of the TMC as well as the absolutely pathetic law and order situation in the state. I wish the West Bengal government and TMC were more focused on helping people rather than indulging in violence in such a challenging situation. I call upon BJP Karyakartas to continue to work among the people and assist the ongoing rescue operations. Because it's very clear. He's asking the TMC that you cannot put a jackboot on the jugular of the opposition. He's doing his job. Where is Rahul Gandhi?
And did you ask the BJP what proof do they have that
I'm asking you, sir, since you represent the Congress.
No. Did you ask the BJP what proof do they have that the people who
anything logical today? The word used by the Honorable Prime Minister is pathetic state of law and order. This is as direct the Honorable Prime Minister can get in the purviews of law. But it is just not limited to our tribal MP. Please note, Rahul, he is a tribal who's been attacked in Bengal. I need to make a small point. Even if it is Abhijit Sarkar who was killed after post-poll violence, nobody is safe in Bengal except the Trinamool Congress and her vote bank.
Well,
Nobody is safe
remember,
in Bengal.
This is a state where TMC would say exactly this about the left.
Why don't you dismiss the
This
government?
was a state where the TMC would say, okay, stop quarreling, please stop quarreling, lower everyone's faders, I need to move on. Viewers, this is exactly what the TMC would say prior to 2011 about the left rule. That it was using tactics, Stalinistic tactics to kill democracy. Today, viewers, they've adopted that style. I'm not saying it, the Calcutta High Court has said it. And viewers, you have namby-pamby leaders who talk about democracy but do nothing about upholding democratic practices. And I have not said this. This is being said by the silence, by the deflection of those who are supposed to respond. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is at least sticking his neck out, viewers, as a congressman in Bengal. But are his bosses doing so for the sake of the democracy that they so love and they suggest that they defend to the death? No, viewers, they are not. And that's the reason why Mr. Jain could not bring himself to answer. But I just want to leave you, viewers, with this statement. This is a TMC statement, and it says, the incident is a spontaneous response by irate residents who are fed up with the BJP's photo op politics in the midst of a humanitarian catastrophe. What does this tell you, viewers? It tells you that here is a state government that is actually giving free license to extrajudicial action against people, especially elected representatives. That is the state of affairs. Viewers, I move on. It's going to be a watershed election in Bihar. For the first time in recent memory, Bihar polls will be held in just 2 phases on November 6th and 11th. Counting will be on November 14th. In other words, we will know who takes the trophy home on that day. But who is the most at stake? The Gathbandhan of Rahul Gandhi and Tejaswi Yadav, who have labelled themselves Jan Nayaks, have called upon the people to deliver justice by defeating the NDA that they claim has cheated the people by fixing the elections in cahoots with the Election Commission through a process called, quote, vote chori, unquote, which is fiddling with the electoral rolls and kicking out voters who vote allegedly exclusively for the opposition. None of these viewers, however, have even filed one objection in the given time frame of 2 months to tell you which elector, which voter has been kicked out unjustifiably. But viewers, they kicked up a whole shindig. Punishing this vote chori, say the two self-proclaimed Jan Nayaks, is a central issue, if not the only issue, they say. On the other hand, the NDA says that their Jan Sevaks, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, are trusted brands who have served the people and will be rewarded. The tussle is on, but one gets the sense that the India bloc's Rahul Gandhi and Tejaswi Yadav have more at stake. After all, no one can casually invoke a title like Jan Nayak in Bihar. That, viewers, has a special history. This title was bestowed upon the great social justice warrior Kapuri Thakur, by the people of Bihar. He has been singled out for the highest award of this land. Why? Because viewers, he earned that reward. He earned that appellation, Jan Nayak. It wasn't bestowed upon him like in the case of Rahul Gandhi and Tejaswi Yadav by phoning courtiers who owe everything to the pull of their dynastic credentials. Perhaps that's why the Prime Minister took a veiled dig at the duo, saying, and I quote, Kapuri Thakur wasn't made Jan Nayak by social media influencers. He was made Jan Nayak by the people of Bihar. And they did so after observing his life. I would urge the people of Bihar to be vigilant. Nowadays, people are trying to steal even this title of Jan Nayak, unquote. The question then is whether this election is a referendum on who is the real Jan Nayak. And if so, will the losers concede the title to the winner? Viewers, these are some fundamental questions, and let's put them out there front and center. I want to begin with one individual, very respectable, senior fellow of the CPR, Rahul Verma, who's written a book and has talked about electoral behavior and our democracy. I just want you to define first, Mr. Rahul Verma, this appellation Jan Nayak. What does it mean in the context of Bihar? Should it even be bestowed upon people in this casual manner? I'm trying to get to understand if it does have an appeal, or should it actually come from the people themselves, and will the people respect this appellation?
So, Rahul, thank you for asking this question. And you are right in your opening remarks that titles such as Jan Nayak or Rashtrapita is given to someone after a long phase of contribution to public life. And what might be happening right now, maybe some of these titles are just casually used in politics, and they don't mean anything. You may call me anything, or I may call you with anything if we like each other, but that won't carry any meaning if people don't associate messages around that title, or those titles are not coming from them. And so, yes, there is always a possibility that it may also become a butt of the joke, that these titles are being just casually given to anyone. And so it remains to be seen whether anyone can carry these titles, especially in Bihar, where Jan Nayak was given to Karpuri Thakur.
So I want to ask you, because who has more to lose in this election? Yes, there is prestige, there is momentum that the Modi government would like to obviously carry forward going into the next round, which is a crucial round next year, 5 state elections. But is it so consequential for the NDA above and beyond perhaps the other side, the Gathbandhan, specifically Tejaswi Yadav, who actually is perhaps fighting now a battle for an existential battle, really?
So in some sense, yes, this election is much more important for Mahagathbandhan, and there is more at stake for them. For simple reason, after 2005, RJD has not been in power on its own. 2 times they were able to come to power with Nitish Kumar. So in some ways, given that they have been out of power for 20 years on their own, there is a serious issue at stake for them. Second, I think after the 2024 Lok Sabha election, where BJP got some setback, they have been able to recover by winning states of Maharashtra, Jharkhand, and even Delhi. And in that sense, opposition parties, especially the Congress party, has not been able to carry on the momentum that it thought generated from the 2024 election. Congress cannot call the victories of opposition parties in Jharkhand or Jammu Kashmir as its own. And last time it is being said, and data bears this out, that Congress perhaps underperformed in Mahagathbandhan. Out of 70 seats that they were given, they barely won 19 or 20. So given those circumstances, one, that Rahul Gandhi has spent so much energy in Bihar, and especially Bihar will become the test case for his allegations of vote chori and election rigging, which started both in Haryana and Maharashtra, but those were post-election allegations. Here, these allegations are pre-election. And so in that sense, whether that allegation has any resonance on the ground. It will be a test on that as well.
Let me open this up. We have Nikhil Jain with us. We have the Jan Swaraj Party's eminent spokesperson, very experienced politician, had been part of the JDU. Mr. Pawan Verma has been a diplomat, writer, a thinker. So we have an esteemed panel. We have Pradeep Bhandari giving us the BJP perspective. I just want to very quickly come out to you, Mr. Jain. You represent, obviously, today the voice of the two challengers on the panel. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has tweeted a short while back, and he said that it's an insult to the great Karpuri Thakur when his title, Jan Nayak, is bestowed and not earned. I want to ask you, does this, Mr. Jain, reek of a culture of entitlement in the India alliance?
Rahul, absolutely not. I really don't understand how do you call this entitlement. The fact of the matter is that Jannayak Karpuri Thakurji was one who fought for the rights of the marginalized communities, of the OBCs, and he wanted to give them reservation. And that is the reason people coined the title of conferred him with the title of Jannayak. And what Rahul Gandhi is doing today is quite similar. I'm not saying that Rahul Gandhi is now the Jan Nayak and Karpuri Thakur is not. Both the gentlemen have been championing the same cause. Rahul Gandhi is doing it today. Karpuri ji did it in the 70s, 80s, and many decades ago. So it's not completely wrong to do that comparison. Of course, I will not say that Rahul Gandhi is now the Jan Nayak or Karpuri Thakur ji isn't. That is not a fair argument to make. And further, the important point in this election is that the Election Commission of India is today acting in a very partisan manner. It is out for everybody to see. They've been lying in the Supreme Court. The most recent example of it is that they're claiming in the Supreme Court that they've given to the district Congress committees and of district committees of different parties the list of the deleted voters in the final list, which they haven't. And if affidavit would be filed in the Supreme Court, tomorrow or day after, I don't know, whenever the hearing is. So that is what we're dealing with. We are dealing with an election commission that is completely on the side of one political party. We are dealing with
you have taken this message.
The country.
So you're saying you've taken this message to the people. Now, if the people don't vote for you, will you say that you were wrong?
Rahul, when there are serious questions being raised on the authenticity of the elections, on the non-partisanship of the election commission, there will always be questions raised. The election commission is not being transparent.
If the people that you have asked to punish vote chori refuse to do so, they don't vote for your plank, they don't vote for your appeal, does that mean that they have disregarded your so-called concerns because they have seen through them? Would it stand to reason, sir, or is that also not true?
Rahul, until and unless we see a fair election in Bihar, until and unless we see a level playing ground, until and unless
let me bring in the Jan Swaraj Party and the BJP respectively. Let the BJP. Okay, fair enough. So there can be no election which is fair because the whole process is rigged from the very beginning. Yet we are contesting this election. Earlier you had said we won't. Now you're saying we will. So I just want to bring in Pawan Verma. Pawan Verma, why are you then contesting? Why is your party, why is Mr. Kishore even bothering? If it's such a rigged election, if it's all compromised, this, that, the other, why are you in it?
I'll tell you honestly, Rahul, thank you. This vote chori campaign began with a bang and ended with a whimper, not because we should not have vigilant citizens who point out to any acts of omission or commission by the Election Commission which are suspect, but because the Supreme Court in several judgments and including the last added the Aadhaar card, and after that for the majority of the voters in Bihar, because most of them are poor, 1/3 of Bihar is below the poverty line. That means out of 14 crore people, about 5 crore live below the poverty line on less than 100 rupees a day and one meal a day. But their umbilical cord to the system is a vote, and they'll fight for it, and now the Supreme Court has facilitated it, so I don't believe that is a big issue. What are big issues, and that is what Jan Swaraj and Prashant Kishore have fought for, are unemployment, education, the state of education, health, the flight capital out of Bihar, and of course more recently corruption, the migration, out of Bihar because of lack of jobs, and the fact that 30 years after the rule of Nitish and Lalu, Bihar is exactly where it is, the poorest and the most backward state with the lowest per capita income in the country. So what Prashant Kishore and Jan Suraj now command is the majority constituency in Bihar, cutting across the traditional tropes, the prisms of 2015 and 20, which were caste, religion, Hindu, Muslim, community. They command that constituency of those who want change.
Okay.
And you'll be surprised at the traction this demand has got by now. As far as Jan Nayak is concerned, it's a nice title for Mr. Rahul Gandhi to have. He can assume many more. But the real truth is the Congress has lost its organizational strength on the ground. Tejaswi's ninth pass, Samrat Chaudhary, the Deputy Chief Minister of the BJP, cannot produce his metric certificate. There is corruption there is corruption here. The people of Bihar are suffering, and Jan Suraj is based on a very strong organization. Let me tell you, Rahul, I'll take 30 seconds more. Okay. Around 1 crore 30 lakh people of Bihar have a paid membership of Jan Suraj. We have an organization from the booth right to the top.
Okay. So we are expecting big things.
has become the icon of change.
Okay, right. So you're saying that your plank is development. It's a referendum on development. And Mr. Kishore is going for the jugular. He's going to be the next Kejriwal, almost. He's going to be chief minister. Okay, I mean, that's a lot of confidence. But in that also we have learned three things from what Mr. Verma is saying. He's rejecting the cynical excuses that are being made by certain political parties like vote chori and so forth. He's also sort of saying that this business of acquiring titles doesn't sit very well with the reality. But he's also saying to you, Pradeep Bhandari, that nothing really has changed, and therefore there is anti-incumbency. So on both points, ones that were raised by Mr. Jain and the others that were raised by Mr. Verma, I would like your response. Why should people vote for you?
But there's a very thin line between propaganda and facts. I'll speak facts and try to puncture the propaganda quoted by the two panelists. The per capita income of Bihar earlier was 8,000 rupees. It is increased to 66,000 rupees under the NDA Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Nitish Kumar. 14% is the growth rate of Bihar. Earlier it was Bimaru. Bihar is for the first time seen that the manufacturing growth rate has increased and been more than the growth rate of agriculture. Manufacturing growth rate is more than 23%. The agriculture growth is 22%. Well, Mr. Verma is absolutely wrong on the party part, because as per the RBI's latest report, earlier there were 41% people in Bihar who were below the party line. Now this is reduced to mere 5%. Bihar is the state which has reduced maximum people have come out of poverty line in Bihar. Mr. Verma, I did not interrupt. Please relax when I'm quoting facts. So the reality is that when 10,000 rupees are deposited in the account of the females, when 125 units of free electricity is given, when the females know they can go out of their homes post 5 p.m., which was not the scenario under the RJD and Congress, we are confident we will not just win, Rahul, we will win with a bigger mandate. Please record this statement. We will win with more seats and more vote share as NDA than what we got in 2020. Now let us come to the plank of corruption. The biggest corrupt party is the Prashant Kishore's Jan Swaraj, because they declared, and he declared, that he has got an income of 234 crore. As per 234 crore, he had to pay a tax of 34 crore, but his personal income tax filing is of mere 4 crore. So what is the 30 crore corruption that Mr. Prashant Kishore has done? He is still not answered. I asked Mr. Pawan Verma this question in earlier debate, but he still not answered. So yes, the corruption number one is Jan Swaraj. Now let's come to Congress and the RJD. Just 10 seconds. Just let's come to the Congress and the RJD. Well, there is an internal fight between the Congress and the RJD. I will not take the Congress seriously, because the Congress cannot accept Tejaswi Yadav as their face, and I will not take Tejaswi Yadav seriously because even the Congress does not accept them as faces. Okay. So till the time they get their houses together, that is when Bihar will accept. But Mr. Verma should answer.
No, hang on, Mr. Bhandari, do you accept?
Why corruption of 34 crores?
I'll come to that. Just 1 second. Do you accept Nitish Kumar as your chief minister?
Absolutely, yes. Okay. Mr. Nitish Kumar will be the chief minister in 2025. After the results.
Please respond. Pawan Verma, please respond to the corruption charge. Yes.
Very quickly. I don't know, perhaps it's an inventive mind where Mr. Bhandari gets his statistics. I was quoting to you the Niti Aayog statistics that are available at the latest time, that close to 1/3 of Bihar lives below the poverty line on the multidimensional poverty index. If he can prove that to you otherwise or prove the Niti Aayog data wrong, I would be happy to welcome it. I have the good of Bihar in mind. As far as per capita income, of course it has grown, budgets have grown, the country has moved on, but in relative terms, Bihar has the country's lowest per capita income, the highest rate of unemployment, the poorest and the most backward state still. On his third point,
please allow me.
He seems to have become the new chief commissioner of income tax. Prashant Kishore said openly, after putting many ministers of the current NDA government in the dock on which they have no answers because he has provided affidavits, PAN account numbers, sale deeds and every other data.
So you are rejecting the charge. Very quickly.
Prashant Kishore declared, Prashant Kishore declared that he paid so much income tax, so much GST.
Okay, gentlemen.
And this is the Niti Aayog report of October 2024 which says that Bihar is doing wonderful on basic income indicators and economic indicators.
One by one.
See now Mr. Verma is getting that. Allow me a right
the
of
income
rebuttal.
tax department has not asked a question.
Okay.
The income tax department has not asked a question. The GST has not asked a question.
Allow me
Mr.
right to
Bhandari
rebut,
is the
please.
new chief
This is the
commissioner
Niti Aayog
of
report,
income tax,
October
self-appointed.
2024. Bihar is doing wonderful on all the basic indicators. Mr. Verma, what 30 crore of tax story? Please answer.
Okay, just 1 minute. Let's quickly draw a line here, viewers. The fact is that the context has been set. The contest is now underway, viewers. And the contest will now reveal, because all of this will now be brought out into the public domain and people will have their opportunities. Mr. Kishore will go on TV channels, he will meet people, he'll talk to people, he'll address Jan Sabhas, he'll rebut these charges, and it will be eventually the people who will have to decide who they trust. It's only going to come down to that, viewers, at the end of the day. The trust, who do they think, they believe, is best suited to deliver on the promises they make. Everyone is going to make promises. Some of them have made promises that they criticized others for making. Let me also tell you that, viewers. So let us...
Are we talking about Mr. Modi and
any
Nitish
and
Kumar?
everything, sir. Everyone has made promises. The point is, who do the viewers, who do the voters... Okay, gentlemen, please. Who do the voters trust? Who do the voters trust? Who do the voters trust to deliver on those guarantees, those promises? Whether they are right or wrong, I'm not sitting here in judgment, viewers. The fact is the people now will have to decide. The election result will be out on the 14th of November, which is an important date, by the way. I leave it at this, viewers. I leave it at this. I need to move on because this is a very important subject that we must address. Should India be worried about the growing bonhomie between Pakistan and the United States? That question was sparked by a photograph released by Pakistan's Foreign Ministry, a picture that shows Pakistan's self-appointed Field Marshal General Asim Munir offering rare earth metals to President Trump, quite literally on a platter inside the Oval Office, as if he was a salesman for De Beers Corporation or something like that, viewers. I'm only saying it in jest. Islamabad's establishment is flaunting this image as proof. That's the one, viewers, in the middle of your screens. As proof of a grand reset in US-Pakistan relations, a supposed course correction of a decade of mistrust, and no one can deny that India and US relations are in a spot of bother presently. Listen to EM's own assessment. I just want to play out this soundbite and then open this up to our guests. Yes.
We have today issues with the United States. A big part of it is the fact that we have not arrived at a landing ground for our trade discussions. And the inability so far to reach there has led to a certain tariff being levied on India. In addition, there is a second tariff, which, we have said, we publicly said, we regard it as very unfair, which has picked on us for sourcing energy from Russia, when of course there are other countries who have done so, including countries who right now have a far more antagonistic relationship with Russia than we do.
It is clearly, viewers, it is clearly a matter of perplexing double standards. But even so, for many, the picture of Munir meeting Trump is a colonial throwback reminiscent of a subjugated ruler offering tribute for foreign patronage, and some experts in Delhi are already downplaying it as theatre. Pakistan's puppet show is one term which has been used by a former diplomat, arguing that Washington's interest is purely tactical and temporary. But history tells us something else. Every phase of US-Pakistan bonhomie has costs for India. The Cold War, America armed Pakistan's military. In the Afghan jihad, it empowered the ISI and radical networks. And during the war on terror, it funded a counter-terror ally that quietly sheltered India-focused terrorists. This latest détente looks no different, and it echoes the Nixon era. Let's ask the experts what they think, and I want to open this up and go straight across to Professor Andrew Latham, international relations expert and professor at the Macalester College. Abhijit Iyer. Abhijit Iyer is also there with us, senior fellow IPCS. I want to first come to you, Professor, and I want to ask you a very simple question. Should India be worried about this growing proximity between Pakistan and the United States? Is this enough to alter the balance of power in South Asia and make India draw perhaps a red line with the United States as far as its relations are concerned? Or should we ignore it? Or can we afford to do so?
Well, in my judgment, I don't think it can be ignored, but it can certainly be exaggerated at the other end of the continuum. The natural alliance that serves America's interests best in the Indo-Pacific is a strategic partnership with India, not with Pakistan. Whether it's the American rivalry with China or just the general free and fair trade regime in the Indo-Pacific, whatever it is, India is America's natural partner. And when you layer on top of that the Indian diaspora in the United States and its wealth and growing influence, the bonds are tight. Yes, we're going through, as you put it, a spot of bother at the moment, but that is merely a spot of bother. Now, I need to qualify that a little bit, because in Donald Trump's perfect universe, the relationship with India would be very tight economically, demographically, geopolitically, but Pakistan would be a friend and ally too. Why? Because he would like to wean Pakistan off of dependence on China, because there's a history there. Pakistan, yes, you quite accurately characterized the American relationship with Pakistan during the so-called war on terror, but it seemed to serve American interests during that period. So the United States would like to have its cake and eat it too. If it had to choose, though, on the basis of its national interests and in terms of domestic politics, India is its natural partner.
Okay. Interesting. Let me bring in Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, I'll take you back to a time when Trump used to call Pakistan a backstabber and said that we should not even give them $1. Nonetheless, all of that has now changed. But I want to ask you, is our relationship really a natural alliance with the United States?
As long as China remains threat number one, yes, it is. The fact remains that, if you go, I mean, I hate theory, but still, if you go by balance of power theory, 1 and 2 never gang up. It's always 1 and 3 or 1 and 4 or 1, 3 and 4 that gang up against 2, or 2, 3 and 4 that gang up against 1. 1 and 2 never really, ever, historically, could you see 1 and 2 ever come together. So as long as China remains what it is, and what it is basically a modern state with a feudal mentality. They have juxtaposed, the West went through the Westphalian, the 30 Years' War, and the West, developed the Westphalian system. The Chinese have never gone through that. They've still got a 9th century view of international geopolitics and things like that. And that makes them very, very, very dangerous. As long as that situation continues, yes, India and America, at the simplest possible terms, will be allies. Let's keep Pakistan separate from this, because what happens with Pakistan is, Trump has this thing now. Sure, it's very easy. There isn't a single presidential candidate, not Clinton, not Obama, not whoever, when they were campaigning to become president, did not criticize the ruling president at the time of, giving sops to China or falling for the Pakistani trap every single time. And the moment they come to power, they always think somehow that they're different. In Trump's case, there's a good faith basis for it, because nobody could actually make the Abraham Accords happen other than him. He has, to his credit, sorted out a lot of things. he thinks maybe he's the one that's going to make a change. Look, we have a tactile knowledge of Pakistan, so we know that's not going to happen. But he's welcome to his fancies, or his fantasies in this case.
Very quickly, do you think, Professor Latham, that Trump is using the good offices, so to speak, of Pakistan to approach Xi for that trade deal resolution? 30 seconds, sir.
Well, I'm not sure that he's thinking that far ahead or that strategically, to be honest. I think he's irritated with India over the, he wanted a special arrangement, tariffs, et cetera, and he didn't get what he wanted. He got it from everybody else, but he didn't get it from India, and he's still in a bit of a snit about that. I think that's a motivator for him rather than the entire American foreign policy establishment. That's the motivator for him rather than thinking about using the good offices, as you put them, ironically, of Pakistan to negotiate this a meeting with Xi on the margins of some future meeting.
Well, I'll leave it at that, viewers. This is a well-rounded view. Clearly, there are troubled times. Is there light at the end of the tunnel? Who will blink first? These are questions that now remain unanswered. And if we do resolve our trade hiccups, we get over them really, then will it mean that Pakistan will again recede into the background because Trump will pivot towards India once again? I don't know, viewers. I don't have the answers. We're going to try and explore that with other commentators. I'm going to take a short break. I'm right back with a quick update on a massive tragedy. Don't go away, viewers.
Come to that in a bit. Just to I want to bring in another dynamic of this entire China-Pak tango, viewers. A big CNN News 18 exclusive brought to us by our security editor Manoj Kumar Gupta. Pakistan has racked up a hefty bill to repair the damage caused to its various air bases during Op Sindoor and has depended on American support to get its military operations back on track. Now here are the details. The price tag, somewhere between $400 to $470 million, just around the number of $500 million. Secret funds, and this is for repairs and equipment. The Bolari Air Base, one F-16 damaged, one Saab radar system repaired by the US Air Force in June. In Bolari, they also suffered losses. A squadron leader and a chief technician also perished. Jacobabad Air Base, two parked F-16 jets damaged after BrahMos missile attacks. Noor Khan Air Base, one F-16 jet and one C-130 carrier damaged after BrahMos missile strike. And these air bases were repaired at an urgent basis. Rahim Yar Khan still not repaired. US engineers dispatched from Doha, Abu Dhabi and Maryland for repairs. US teams arrived between June and September to conduct these repairs. And there was also a US-China conundrum. China was ready to conduct repairs, but the US feared tech theft, and that's why they jumped in. US feared China would compromise F-16 and C-130 technology. Pak also using the funds to upgrade bases. The PAF is installing latest communication radars integrated with satellites and with a combination of American and Chinese tech to deter future strikes. The question remains, has Bharat increased the financial burden of terror? Can Pakistan effectively operate in tandem with both American and Chinese technology? And is Pakistan making American technology more vulnerable to Chinese theft? Yet again, this entire China-Pak tango comes to the fore, that Chinese engineers were present there to even take over. General Pandey and Brahmachalani ji, please, your thoughts?
I think we need to, somewhere we need to learn from the Pakistanis. Whatever we may say about their being a rentier state, but the fact remains that they have been able to actually play one power against another to ensure the relevance in the geography, which the chief was talking a few days back, threatening that we remove them from geography. But you see, please understand that's the beauty of it, that when they have offered the Chinese, told the Americans that Chinese will come and repair if you don't, they drew in the funds. And if you recall, we were discussing on the same channel about large number of military aircrafts coming to give flood relief in areas which were far, far away from the area where the floods were actually. And they were all military aircrafts which were coming. So we talked about it at that point of time. There is something much more happening, and it's about possibility of repair and such like equipment which is happening. So we may feel that we have increased the cost to the Pakistanis. But Pakistanis are very clear that they can't pay back in terms of money in the fund. So what have they offered? And you saw very well this very famous picture of Asim Munir and Shahbaz Sharif trying to show the minerals of Balochistan to this thing. So the resources in the northern part of Pakistan, or TOJK and Balochistan, have been actually virtually given away to the Chinese, right? Including the territory which they have given and signed it off for a period of time. And so is the case of today, the Balochistan and those offers which are coming up to resolve. And so this, what I feel is, there are a number of give and back which is happening. Pakistan is now very quickly becoming a hedging geography for the Americans, who are stretched on the ground between the Gulf, Iran, and in Afghanistan. It allows them to fly over.
Welcome back. A massive fire broke out late Sunday night at the trauma center of Jaipur's state-run Savai Man Singh Hospital, killing 8 critically ill patients. According to reports, a suspected short circuit in a storage area sparked the blaze. Rajasthan Chief Minister Bhajanlal Sharma has ordered a probe and formed a 6-member committee to investigate. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed deep sorrow over the tragedy, offering condolences to the victims' families and wishing the injured a speedy recovery. Union Health Minister JP Nadda also took stock of the situation, speaking with the Chief Minister and reviewing relief efforts. Viewers.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Come to that in a bit. Just to I want to bring in another dynamic of this entire China-Pak tango. Viewers, a big CNN News 18 exclusive brought to us by our security editor Manoj Kumar Gupta. Pakistan has racked up a hefty bill to repair the damage caused to its various air bases during Op Sindoor and has depended on American support to get its military operations back on track. Now here are the details. The price tag, somewhere between $400 to $470 million, just around the number of $500 million. Secret funds, and this is for repairs and equipment. The Bolari Air Base, 1 F-16 damaged, 1 Saab radar system repaired by the US Air Force in June. In Bolari, they also suffered losses. A squadron leader and a chief technician also perished. Jacobabad Air Base, 2 parked F-16 jets damaged after BrahMos missile attacks. Noor Khan Air Base, 1 F-16 jet and 1 C-130 carrier damaged after BrahMos missile strike. And these air bases were repaired at an urgent basis. Rahim Yar Khan still not repaired. US engineers dispatched from Doha, Abu Dhabi and Maryland for repairs. US teams arrived between June and September to conduct these repairs. And there was also a US-China conundrum. China was ready to conduct repairs, but the US feared tech theft, and that's why they jumped in. US feared China would compromise F-16 and C-130 technology. Pak also using the funds to upgrade bases. The PAF is installing latest communication radars integrated with satellites and with a combination of American and Chinese tech to deter future strikes. The question remains, has Bharat increased the financial burden of terror? Can Pakistan effectively operate in tandem with both American and Chinese technology? And is Pakistan making American technology more vulnerable to Chinese theft? Yet again, this entire China-Pak tango comes to the fore, that Chinese engineers were present there to even take over. General Pandey and Brahmachalani ji, please, your thoughts?
I think we need to, somewhere we need to learn from the Pakistanis. Whatever we may say about their being a rentier state, but the fact remains that they have been able to actually play one power against another to ensure the relevance in the geography, which the chief was talking a few days back, threatening that we'll remove them from geography. But you see, please understand that's the beauty of it, that when they have offered the Chinese, told the Americans that Chinese will come and repair if you don't, they drew in the funds. And if you recall, we were discussing on the same channel about large number of military aircrafts coming to give flood relief in areas which were far, far away from the area where the floods were actually. There were all military aircrafts which were coming. So we talked about it at that point of time. There is something much more happening, and it's about possibility of repair and such like equipment which is happening. So we may feel that we have increased the cost to the Pakistanis. But Pakistanis are very clear that they can't pay back in terms of money in the fund. So what have they offered? And you saw very well this very famous picture of Asim Munir and Shahbaz Sharif trying to show the minerals of Balochistan to this thing. So the resources in the northern part of Pakistan, or TOJK and Balochistan, have been actually virtually given away to the Chinese, right? Including the territory which they have given and signed it off over a period of time. And so is the case of today, the Balochistan and those offers which are coming up to resolve. And so this, what I feel is, there are a number of give and back which is happening. Pakistan is now very quickly becoming a hedging geography.
Hello and welcome to Vantage. I'm Alison Lagrange. Let's get started. It's a big week for West Asia. All eyes are on Egypt, on the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh, where a new round of peace talks is underway. These talks that could finally end the war in Gaza. Hamas and Israel delegations are there. They are accompanied by mediators from Qatar and Egypt. And behind them all, watching closely, is Donald Trump. From Washington, he's pushing both sides to move fast. He says time is running out, and he warns of massive bloodshed if they fail. For now, there is cautious optimism. Hamas says it's ready to talk. Israel says it's willing to listen. But the question remains, will there be peace in Gaza? We'll bring you the full story tonight. In other news, India has sent a message to Washington